Dear learners, welcome to Arpit in Library Information Sciences at IIT Delhi. I am Dr. Nabi Hassan, librarian and head at Central Library IIT Delhi and course coordinator for this Arpit. So, today we are going to discuss about a very emerging new area of library information services and which is also very close to my heart, that is RFID implementation in libraries, because we have implemented the RFID in IIT Delhi in 2010 and we are very closely monitoring, we are very closely working with the RFID system to provide better services to the users. So, as part of this lecture, I shall be covering background of RFID, what is the need of RFID system, the feasibility and planning. I mean, before implementation of the RFID, what you need to plan, or is there any need to conduct any study or form any committee. Then we will be also discussing about the best practices in deployment, different tendering thing as far as the government institutions are concerned, then the component, how the RFID system work. We will also be discussing about the advantages and then limitations as well, and we will also be comparing RFID with the barcode, or you can say electromagnetic chip, then with the RFID with hybrid technology as well. And we will also be discussing about the book ATMs, or you can say robotic circulation, which is also popular in some of the developed countries. And we will also be sharing with you the results of the impact study which IIT Delhi conducted on the basis of the implementation of RFID in IIT Delhi, whether the users have really benefited. And I will also be sharing with you the list of some of the RFID vendors who are very popular in this part of the world, and we will also be sharing a list of libraries which have actually implemented the RFID system. This will help you to plan a visit to those libraries or to talk to those vendors who have actually implemented the RFID system. So, RFID is basically not a new technology, it is being used since long. However, its use in libraries is not very old. So, basically Britishers first pioneered the RFID technology during the World War II for their aircraft identification. Then in late 1960s, US government began using RFID to tag and monitor nuclear and other hazardous material. The first US patent for RFID tag, which is rewritable memory, was obtained by Mario on January 23, 1973. So, RFID in India is also not a new thing, it is being used since long for defense applications or for cattle tracking. The first library RFID supplier started to market their system in mid 1990s. So, in fact, the RFID system in libraries was introduced at a later date. However, the RFID technology was very popular since long. Today, RFID is used for different purposes like automatic toll collections, like RFID is very popular in malls. People are tagging their items which are in malls, so that they may not require much monitoring and they do not need to employ security people. Let us discuss about the need. So, the need may be different for different people, like for RFID for IIT Delhi the need may be different, for in a smaller institution or a university or a bigger institution like DU or MU, the need may be different. When we planned to implement the RFID in IIT Delhi in 2009 itself, then our first priority was that apart from facilitating the users for self check-in, self checkout, we also wanted to consider the branding. Like IIT Delhi is one of the top institutions, why not IIT Delhi should have an RFID system, because it is an updated most advanced institution of the country. So, we planned the RFID implementation in IIT Delhi in 2009 itself, keeping in view various factors. But apart from branding and other things, it may help in a many ways, like it helps you in faster checkout, faster check-in, faster renewal, the security of the library items may be improved, inventory management is better, then tracking the misplaced book is also very easy, and you can save lot of time of the user and the staff, and your all the transactions are streamlined. So, we will be covering advantages of RFID more in detail. So, when you are planning to implement RFID, you have to start thinking as why you want RFID in your institution. So, you have to begin with your goals where RFID will deliver value to your library and its customers. Then you can plan accordingly, and once you have planned everything, then you can go ahead with the implementation. But before that, the most important thing is the feasibility and planning. So, smooth implementation require thorough planning. So, before implementation, feasibility of the system is necessary. A committee may be constituted which may have domain expert, which may have people from the administration, which may have people from the audit and account, and the whole library team may be involved, so that you are able to plan in a better way. Then you also have to think about return on investment, like RFID is a very costly technology. So, you have to think that you are going to invest many lakhs or maybe crore rupees, what will be the return on investment, how your people will be benefited. So, if you are thinking that you will be able to provide better services, you will be able to save money as far as the salary of the staff is concerned, because you will be able to manage the library with less number of staff, then you can think about all these things. But data validation is most important. Before you are thinking to actually implement the RFID, you need to ensure that your data is proper, otherwise when you will be doing the tagging, then there may be wrong tagging as well. So, what is the checklist or best practices in deployment? When you are thinking about implementation, you are planning, you have conducted the feasibility study, you need to understand other factors as well. Means you need to check the best practices, what are the best practices in the deployment of RFID, and those practices may be like you have to check what is the budget availability and do you have the flexibility in that budget, means how much freedom you have, whether you will be following the e-procurement or whether you will be going through the GEM or whether you will be doing some limited tendering. So, it depends upon the policy of your organization, and also you have to follow some standard government rules as far as government institutions are concerned. And you have to consider the privacy policy as well, because when you are tagging the smart card, the patron data, I mean sometime the patron may be a little bit reserved what information you are feeding in your smart card, then you need to inform to the user that what will be the purpose of tagging a smart card, what information will be there in the smart card. Then you need to consider the robustness of the system, what will be the robustness, and you need to understand whether you are going to implement in a time bound manner, and training and experience is also required. Then accountability is also very important. When you are implementing such a new technology, user may come to you, the faculty may approach you that who is accountable for if anything happens wrong. For example, a faculty member may be tagged with a wrong, you can say, patron ID or employee codes. So, in that case there should be couple of people who should be able to rectify such a problem immediately. So, accountability is also very important. Then when you are forming a committee, you need to maintain the balance, like I have discussed in couple of minutes back, that you need to have in the committee domain expert, people from the administration, people from the audit, people from the account, and the library team. Like when we implemented the RFID in IIT Delhi, we had people from the Department of Electrical Engineering who were expert in especially RFID. So, they were aware about the RFID and even more advanced technologies. Then there were people from the administration, audit and account as well. Then all the officers of the library were involved, right from the deputy librarian to the assistant librarian. So, it was like a family project, the whole library was involved as a family to execute this project. I think the strength of this team or the committee, it was a balanced committee which could deliver this project in a better way. But in government system, you know, the tendering is most important. In private organization, you may do away with some of the standard procedures, because you may not be following GFR, you may not be following other GEM like government e-marketplace or other rules, but in government system you need to strictly follow the rules, and tendering is the most important part. And for such a big implementation, you need to go for e-procurement as well. So, if your tender document is really great, if you have taken care of all the things in your tender document, I think there should not be any problem. And you need to understand the vendors capability, whether they have implemented such a system somewhere else. You need to talk to the people, what is their impression about that particular vendor. So, you may have a, you can say, pre-bid conference with the vendors, you can understand the technical expertise of those vendors, and also like incomplete, vague or conditionally submitted tenders should not be considered, and the bidder should have sufficient successful practical exposure, means the bidder should have delivered a couple of projects in the institutions of national importance, so that you are able to understand that they are capable, they are sincere people, and they will also be able to provide post installation services in as per your expectations as well. So, the in fact, when you are planning a tender, you should also take into consideration that it is on turnkey basis. You cannot give the order of the RFID equipment or component in bits and pieces, like stop station may not go to one per vendor, or the ES pedestal gate may not go to another person, or the tagging work or job work should not go to a third person. So, you have to keep all the things in mind while you are preparing the tender. So, while you are considering the tender, then you need to understand what are the technical details or what are the requirement for your library. So, technical bit detail include like migration part, if any. For example, if you are migrating your database from a particular software, for example, if you are migrating commercial software to a open source software. So, you need to consider whether the vendor will be able to migrate it without any data loss, that is most important. Then middleware means the software which will be communicating with your integrated library management system and your RFID equipment. So, there is a middleware, or you can say server layer, you need to understand that whether it will be supportive, because sometime when you are migrating from a commercial software to a open source software, the middleware may not support you, or the vendor may not be supporting you because he may be losing the business. So, you have to take care all these things in your tendering process. Then other equipment which you will be considering as part of your tender will be like your multi-purpose stop station. You need to understand the tag details, whether you want a active RFID tag or passive RFID tag, and what will be its frequency. Then you have to decide about smart card detail, what type of smart card you want for your RFID system. Then integrated self check-in checkout machine, do you want a machine which can only self checkout, or it can be used for both the purposes, for self check-in and checkout as well. You may plan a drop box separately as well. Then the security gate, which is known as electronic article surveillance gate, ES pedestal. So, you have to think what type of gate you want, will it be like transparent with buzzer, with beep, all those things. So, you need to understand, but the most important part is the job work, how the entire project is to be executed once awarded to a particular company, and will they be providing proper training, and what will be the post implementation aspect, means once the project has been delivered, whether they will be able to provide proper support to you. And you need to understand AMC post installation, I mean once the project has been handed over to you, there may be 1 or 2 years warranty period, what will be their charges after warranty period. So, some of these things may be taken care of in financial bid, like prices should be on turnkey basis with all the details, like what are the rates of RFID tag. You need to elaborate clearly how many tags you want, like total units per tag cost, the tagging charges. Then you need to specify about RFID smart card system, how many cards, what will be the information in those type of cards. Then the specification of multi-purpose RFID stop station, integrated self check-in checkout machines, do you want one machine or two machine, then security gate, book drop box, then self management system, or charges after AMC. So, these all things should be covered in your financial bid. Until and unless you are able to clearly define the your job work and other details, per unit cost or the total number of items required, the quantity, etc., it will be difficult to evaluate the tender. So, this is basically a self checkout screen from IIT Delhi, but it is not necessary that you can have a particular type of screen. It is up to you. You can get the screen customized as per your own requirement, because we are keeping on screen the minimum things, because users should not be confused with so many functions on the main screen. So, if a staff is logging in through the staff station, then you need to give your login and password, and with this login and password, this will be the screen which will appear for the staff. Here we have given some minimum utilities which are very common and useful for the users, like checkout, check in, renew, monitoring, patron query, and you can do tagging, etc., as well from this screen. But this screen is available to the staff only. This screen is not available to the users on self checkout kiosk. This is available on staff station. So, if a user is logged in, these are some of the details which will be visible to the user through staff station. Then if you are checking out the book through staff station, then this may be the screen, and once the book has been checked out, then this will be the screen. It will show that the checkout processed, and simultaneously you will also be receiving an email on email address that you have given in the database. There may also be provision to receive an SMS as well, but like institution like IIT Delhi, we are not providing SMS service for the sake of patrons, because patrons may not be willing to provide their mobile number to the third party, that is SMS service provider. In the same way, if you want to return a book, you can return the book either at the staff station, or you can drop the book in the drop box, and a mail for the returned book will also be sent to your email inbox automatically by the software. So, if a book is not tagged, means if the book has a fresh tag, then you can see that a message will be flashed and it will be with the words fresh tag found. So, to tag a book, you just need to enter the accession number of that book, and with that the book will be tagged in just one click. So, this is how, when the tagging is successful, this is the screen which will be prompted. When we are receiving the patron card, they are fresh cards, there is no information inside the smart card of the user. So, when we are putting the smart card on the staff station, we can tag using the option first patron, then we can click the tagging. And this is the screen from the staff station. These are the actual pictures from IIT Delhi's circulation counter, where the staff station has been maintained. In fact, in an institution like IIT Delhi, there is not only one staff station, there is another staff station in textbook and book bank section. Then there could be staff station in your acquisition and processing division as well for tagging and other works. So, this is the interface from the you can say Alice Smart base RFID system from the Lipsys. This is the screen from the exit sensors where the ES pedestal gates have been installed. If some user is trying to take out the book from the library without getting it issued, there will be a beep and there will be a red light as well. So, which will be flashing. So, guard or the people around the ES pedestal gate will be able to identify that the patron is trying to take out the book without getting it issued. But there are chances that there could be false sweep as well in very rare case. So, instead of directly blaming the patron that you are trying to steal the book, you first check what is the issue, whether the book is really being taken out from the library without getting issued, or there is some technical snag. So, this is the screen which shows integrated self issue return and book drop facility. The first two actual images are from IIT Delhi. First one is self checkout or check in machine, another one is drop box, and the third one is the latest book drop box. The image has been provided by the Lipsys, and I mean, one may consider migrating from the current book drop box to the newer one, because IIT Delhi RFID equipments are 10-year-old, and luckily we are still able to manage with our current equipment in a perfect manner. So, this is the screenshot I have taken from the Ithaca's public library when I was a Warlock fellow in 2006, and I was surprised to know that at the village level as well they were having the RFID facility, and they were having different type of drop partitions, like for audio visual there was a different partition for drop, and for books there was a different partition for book drop. So, as far as smart card are concerned, the first image is from IIT Delhi and the another image is from my Cornell ID of 2006. The only difference between two IDs is the facilities, like the Cornell ID was having facility for financial transactions as well. It means it was having provision of you can say monetary value was also attached with that card. You was able to use that for like your debit card as well. You was able to make the payment for canteen, for printout, for many things. But in IIT Delhi smart card we have yet not attached the monetary value, and I am happy to share that IIT Delhi Central Library has given the birth to smart card of IIT Delhi as an institution. Initially IIT Delhi Central Library in 2010 started using smart cards for the library only. Later on that same card was adopted by IIT Delhi for institute ID. So, currently we do not have a separate card for central library, the same institute ID smart ID card is used for all the purposes. If the people want to make transactions with that card, they need to do the tagging once from the central library, in which generally we are entering the you can say employee code or the student ID in that card, few digits. So, this is the self inventory management system, means you can do the stock rectification or stock verification, or you can find out the misplaced or the books which people may not be keeping at a proper place with the help of this handheld reader. These are the basically different images of security and surveillance systems, like your ES pedestal gate may count the movement of the people. If a person is passing through that gate, it may count. Then there may be some thermal imaging counters as well. So, there may be different type of system, and the RFID system may be integrated with CCTV and other systems as well. So, this is a screen for stock verification. So, stock verification is very easy using RFID system, because it can read the tags and it can, instead of taking out the book and checking the book, you can get the data of those books from the shelf as well, but there could be some error rate because of the metal shelves or because of the moisture or some other issues. So, like every system has a provision to change the setting, like you can change the setting in your mobile for display, for different type of access right, for different type of security thing. In the same way we can also define the parameter in our RFID system. We can limit some user, we can extend facilities to some particular type of administrators. Let us talk about different components of RFID. I think the most important component of RFID is tag. So, you need to understand what type of tag you are using. You are using HF tag, high frequency tag or ultra high frequency tag, and there could be tag which are hybrid, means they may also have the facility of like electromagnetic strip for security purpose, and the RFID chip as well, which can help you to self check in and check out. So, if you can peel the tag, you will find that these are some of the components which are inside the tag, like there is antenna, there is a chip, and these are the tag details. In IIT Delhi we are using paper thin 50 by 50 mm with at least 1024 bits ISO 15693 18003 compliant standard tag, but you may also use the UHF tag. The plus point of HF tag is that their life is very long and they do not require any battery. The only thing is that I mean their range may be limited and their life is good, and as far as our experience is concerned, I mean I will recommend the HF type of tags. This slides will tell you about different parameters or different tag details, like parameter or active RFID tag or passive RF, what is the power source, what is the internal or external memory, and from where the energy or the you can say power is transferred. So, this is a technical slide, you can go through this slide, and these are the operating frequencies of different type of tag. On which frequency low frequency tag works, on which frequency the HF tags works or UHF tags works, and some of the people may also be going beyond ultra high frequency tag, they may also use the microwave technology as well. But I have highlighted the HF tag details because HF is used mostly in this part of the world. So, this is a slide which is describing the RFID reader. So, RFID reader basically consists of a transmitter, a receiver, antenna and a decoder. So, it communicates with RFID tags, identify them and receive data stored in the tag. So, this is also very important component of RFID system. Then application software or middleware is very important, like I have already explained you that on the back end you have integrated library management system, it could be anything like we are using Lipsys 7 at the back end. Then you have RFID component, but in between there is a middleware, for example we are using LSmart. So, that basically is communicating information from different component to the back end database. So, this is very important component, especially when you are migrating from one software to another software, because you need to understand that whether the middleware or server layer will be supportive to your migration or not. Then another important component is docking station. It is one on which the software that interfaces with the integrated library automation software is loaded. Then initially when we implemented the RFID in 2010 in IIT Delhi, we purchased our own Patron or smart card printer because there was a limited load. But when the same card is being used for whole of the IIT Delhi, now the IIT Delhi has hired a vendor, because IIT Delhi is currently having over 10,000 students. So, such a large number of people cannot be issued the smart card with small or low capacity smart card printers. So, when the students are coming in the beginning of the sessions, the IIT Delhi is showing them the smart cards with the help of you can say the outsource vendors, and through those vendors they are managing the flow of the smart card issuing. But you may also have a smart card printer at your place, and in the beginning you can issue the smart card through the vendor, and in between when someone is losing the card or is there any new joining, then you can issue the card from your own printer. People counter is also very important if you need to maintain the data, how many people have visited your library. If a person is passing through your ES pedestal with the smart card, the machine automatically counts the number of people who have visited the library. So, they help in maintaining the data. Then there are countries like America, China, Hong Kong, etc., who are also using the robotic circulation, integrated robotic circulation. These are obviously at a at a smaller level, where you will be going to circulation counter, you will be submitting your request for a book, the robot will go inside the that area, will take you the relevant book from different boxes. So, books are not arranged in the shelf, they are arranged in different size of boxes. The robot will bring you the book, and in the same way when you want to return the book, you can bring back that book, you can keep it at a particular place on that circulation counter, and you can issue the command, the robot will again pick up the book and place it back in that particular box. But these are not yet used in India, but one can explore. Then there is a concept of book ATMs as well. These are like your automated teller machine or your cash ATMs, where you can just give the command using the screen and a book may be issued, a book may be purchased, and in the same fashion a book may be returned as well. So, I have given some of the links on these I mean for such type of implementations which are there in China or America and many other countries. So, once you are implementing RFID or you are discussing about the RFID, I think you need to remember some of the ISO RFID standards as well. Like ISO 15693 is most common and popularly used standard which we are also using, but there are also compatible standards like 18003 or 28560 or 14443A. and these standards works on 13.56 megahertz. The tags and the equipment used may carry the FCC EN ETSI certification, means they should be certified ones, and they may follow the NSIP version 2.0 or SIP2 or a later version protocol. The voltage range here is around 230 volt and the data interface is RS-232. So, you can visit these links and you can see more details about these standards. So, this is a typically used RFID diagram which has been taken from this some site from internet. I have given the link as well, in which different functions are there, like you have a self check in check out kiosk, you have a self management system, you have a book drop box, you have a anti theft detection library security gate, you have a tagging station, and you may have a staff station. So, how does this library system work? So, the RFID reader send out electromagnetic waves in the RF or radio frequency spectrum. When the tag, like the book tag or the book, enters the RF field in that particular area of the gate, the tag's electronic circuit are powered by energy from the RF field. The tag then modulates and waves and sends them back to the reader. The reader converts the signals received from the tag into digital data and sends it to the host computer. So, it was how the communication is established for working a RFID system. So, as part of the need, I have already elaborated many advantages, but there are some more advantages of RFID implementation as well, like there is hassle free issue return or renewal, increases the security function of the library when you have RFID. Then library timings are flexible, like IIT Delhi library remains open 24/7 throughout the year. So, you can drop the book anytime, you can issue the book anytime. Inventory management is very quick, you can rectify the shelf, then enhance customer services and improved process efficiency. The services are improved with the implementation of RFID, and it is highly reliable. People claims that it may be up to 99.9% detection rate, means it may not be that much faulty, and RFID tags obviously last longer than your barcodes, and some of the libraries are also using fingerprint with the RFID system to make it more secure. But as you know, every technology comes with some limitation. It is not that there are only advantages of RFID, there are some limitations as well, like the most important disadvantage is the cost of the RFID system is very high. The technology is still developing, there are some interoperability and standardization issues. There is sometime problem of integration with the software, sometimes the migration is very difficult from one software to another software, because the commercial people may not allow you to easily switch from one software to another software. Then the RFID tag may be compromised as well with many things, like with your some metal objects like aluminum foil or coins, or there may be moisture issue as well. Then when you are initially implementing the RFID, then in the transaction phase there may be chaos, you have to maintain in a very good manner, and then some of the patterns may have privacy or ethical issues, and the vendor support is very important. Sometimes the vendors are helping you implementing the RFID, but once their warranty is over, they may not be coming back to you for providing the services. So, these are some of the limitations which you should also consider before implementation. So, if you compare barcode with the RFID, obviously barcode has limitations, and RFID has lot many advantages over barcode, like barcode reader require a direct line of sight, whether the RFID tag may not require any line of sight, it may just work when it is coming close to the station or the RFID reader. In the same way, there are obviously advantages over EM as well. RFID has more advantages because EM or electromagnetic strip does not allow you to self check in or check out. There is a staff intervention, but in case of RFID, you need not to take help from any staff, you can do transaction on your own. But the one advantage EM has over RFID is that in big libraries like AMU or DU, RFID may not be that much successful, EM may be more successful, because electromagnetic strip is not visible, it takes the color of the book. people cannot remove it. On the other hand, RFID is visible, people can remove it physically and it can be compromised as well. So, if you are thinking to implement it at a bigger scale, you can consider EM, or you can consider hybrid technology as well, where you have the security features of EM and then self check in check out features, but that would require more money. So, hybrid technology, as I have already discussed, is better, but it requires more money. It will give you better security and it will give you the benefit of self check in, self check out as well. So, whether the RFID has delivered something to IIT Delhi or whether it is delivering really some value to the libraries who have implemented RFID. So, we conducted a small survey on IIT Delhi users and tried to find out whether it has delivered some value. Are people happy with the implementation of RFID? So, we conducted a survey on students, or you can say faculty, on library staff and some other people as well, and the results were very encouraging. Users are very happy that they have increased circulation timings and also it is saving their time as well. Then as far as frequency is concerned, obviously system like IIT Delhi has most of the resources in e format. So, they may not be visiting much to self checkout or to drop the book, but still they are coming to the library to do the transaction in a reasonable manner. As far as rating of circulation system using RFID is concerned, it was found that mostly people have given either very good or excellent rating. As far as use of Dropbox for returning the books are concerned, most of the people are returning the books using Dropbox. They are not coming to the staff station to return the book using the our own staff or circulation counter. So, as far as effectiveness of RFID system is concerned, it was found that extremely well. So, positive change in attitude of user, obviously it was found that with the implementation of RFID there was a positive change in the attitude of the users towards library, that our library people have been found saying that IIT Delhi has the RFID system, our library system is very good, very updated, we are able to do the transactions on our own. As far as use of RFID in other areas are concerned, people have suggested, our own students or patrons have suggested that it should be extended for other areas as well, like for financial transaction, for canteens as well, and they are seeing that the future of RFID in India is really very good. So, this is the list of the RFID vendors which are providing services to the libraries in this part of the world, and this is the list of the libraries who have successfully implemented the RFID system in their institutions, and the system might be running really good. There may be some issues with some libraries, we do not have that data, but it has been observed that these are the libraries which have successfully implemented the RFID system. In fact, when we implemented the RFID in IIT Delhi, we conducted a survey of the libraries who have already implemented. So, we visited the NASDOC library, we visited the British Council, etc. So, if you are planning to implement the RFID, it is always advisable to visit some of those institutions who have already implemented the RFID and take their feedback. So, let us talk about the global scenario of RFID implementation. So, worldwide RFID is used maximum in the United States, Singapore, UK, China, Japan. It is not that popular in this subcontinent because it is a costly technology, and perhaps the largest RFID implementation in academic library is in the University of Hong Kong libraries, where the libraries of the whole city are connected. It means you can issue a book from any library using RFID system and you can return the book in another library as well. And RFID program of Netherlands Library Service connecting all the libraries of the country is also really very interesting, and some of the book publishers are now attaching the RFID card with the book as well, as we used to have CIP data in the books. So, to conclude, I would like to say that RFID technology is taking off in libraries at a increasingly rapid pace. It has the capability of making our lives in the library more convenient, and simple. So, if you have the RFID system implemented in your library, user may have more convenience. They will be using self checkout anytime if your library is open round the clock, and you can drop the books anywhere. For example, if your campus is very big and there are the girls hostel may also be far from your library. So, it is advisable that with the implementation of RFID you can keep a book drop box in the girls hostel, and sometime the van may go and pick up all the books. So, RFID gives you freedom to use the issue, return or book drop facility as per your own convenience, because that may not be possible without the help of RFID system. So, I would like to say that if you are planning to implement RFID, do a small survey whether it will deliver value to your institution, and see the budget availability, because it is a costly system. Apart from budget thing, the system is really very good. People are slowly adopting it, and the use of RFID is increasing. And if your institution is really ranked very high, like using different ranking agencies, then it gives you the branding as well. So, I would like to say that if you have the money, if you have the freedom to implement it, go ahead with your RFID system. So, I have taken the data from different sources. I have used the images from IIT Delhi and from some internet sources. I would like to acknowledge all those sources, services and the organizations from where I have taken the data. It is for the immediate reference of the users. I think you have enjoyed my lecture, and if you have any comment or query or clarification, please post it on discussion forum. You can also email me. Thank you very much.